I recently discovered a plugin and I've used it on every single mix since then. I've used it on my guitar tracks, on my bass tracks, sometimes even on my drum tracks. It's one of those plugins where you kind of didn't know that you need it until you tried it, and then there's no way back. This one is called Guitar Align from Forward Audio. With this plugin, you can go from this to this. And it can do this. Such a helpful tool that makes my mixes sound better and makes me mix faster. Time to check it out. Here we go. You might have guessed it already. This is an auto time align, auto phase align plugin. It will get two mono signals perfectly in phase for you, and that is very helpful. What I like about this plugin is not only that it sounds great, it's also very intuitive, very easy to use. It has a great interface. It's low on the CPU, it has a low latency, it just works. And on top of that, it is quite affordable. It's less than 50% of the price of the industry standard from Sound Radix. This one comes from a German company called Forward Audio, and I gotta say, it is really well done. I've used it a lot on two different machines, and it just works like a charm. But before I show you some examples, let's just talk about why and when you need a plugin like this. There are two scenarios. The first one is whenever you have more than one microphone on a single source. That could be, for example, several microphones on a guitar cab or a bass cab or a snare drum or an acoustic guitar, whatever. So whenever there's more than one microphone, especially if the microphones have a different distance from the source, you will run into phase issues, and this can be corrected manually. I have been doing this manually, especially on when I'm miking guitar cabs, but it's just so much more convenient to let the plugin do the work for you. So that's scenario number one, several microphones on one source. The other scenario might be you sending a certain signal into different directions. For example, using one guitar signal, one guitar DI, and sending it into several amps and several cabs and blending that together. You can easily run into the most terrible phase issues there. For all those scenarios, this plugin is very helpful, and I'm going to show you the examples right now. Just one little thing. I'm so excited about this because, as you might know, I have my own recording, mixing, mastering academy called Kohle Audio Kult. And I got some great news because Forward Audio will give every single member of my academy, every student, this plugin for free. All the existing members, but also everyone who signs up for the academy until July the 1st will get a free instance of this plugin, which is I think 90 euros or something. So the smartest way to get your hands on this plugin right now is to join Kohle Audio Kult, which also means you will get all our fantastic courses and multi-tracks and all the other cool stuff we have in there. So here's our first scenario. I've quickly played a riff and I have two microphones on my guitar cab. One is an SM57, sounds like this. But I also want to use a ribbon microphone, so I have an AEA R92 in front of that cab as well. And because ribbon mics can sound boomy because of the proximity effect, I tend to pull them away from the cab a few centimeters. So this is the ribbon mic. If I try to blend those microphones now, of course we will run into phase issues because the sound will arrive at the SM57 first and it will take some time until it reaches the ribbon mic. Together they sound like this. Terribly phasey. So let's fix this. There are two ways how you can use this plugin. I will show you one way and I'll explain the other one. So what you do is you create a stereo group and you route both tracks into that stereo group, one to the left and one to the right. Now, it's important that we're talking about mono signals here, right? So I've already routed them to the group and here we've got the plugin. So let's send the SM57 to the left and let's send the ribbon mic to the right. Come on, here we go. This is my group. And this is what the plugin looks like. Let me quickly walk you through the interface. So we've got the left signal here, the right signal there. You can solo them, you can flip the phase, you can make them, you have a fader here as well. And here we've got this big XY pad controlling two parameters, like the mix, the blend between the two microphones in this case, and the distance or the delay. So you can do that manually if you want, but what we want now is we want to let the plugin do its magic. Let's see if we have a signal. All right, we got a signal on the left and on the right. And as you can hear, the plugin has already summed everything into mono. So now I just hit play and hit the align button and let the plugin do the work. And here we go, much better. This was before, and this is after. We've got 3 different monitoring options here, and that is really helpful. So pre is before any processing, before the delay correction, but in mono. Post is after the phase correction. And output is after any additional mixing or processing that I might do inside the plugin. And that's what I want to do now. Now I'm going to play around with the blend of those 2 microphones. So we can lock, you can see that here, you can lock the delay. By the way, it can be shown in centimeters, but you can also switch to feet or to millimeters or meters. It's really, really well done. So we just lock this because we don't want to change this. And then we can just blend the microphones. Here we have the 57 and here we have the ribbon mic. And what I really like about this is that we have different cross fade options. I go for the first one because it will maintain the same level no matter how I blend the mics. So this is the 57. There's the ribbon mic. And you see, it's not getting louder when I blend the 2 mics. That is so helpful. So you can really fine tune the mix between the microphones without getting fooled by additional loudness. So for example, I can now start with the 57 and just add a touch of the ribbon mic. And again, before and after. How cool is that? All right, let's move on with the next example. Now I want to send this guitar riff, the DI, into 2 different guitar rigs. I'm going to do that in the box. This time, you see, I've got the DI here, I've got the DI there. I've like randomly chosen some plugins here. So on this track, we've got the Omega amp from Neural DSP. I really like this plugin. I just don't like the cab IRs very much, so I've replaced it with one of my DV77 IRs. By the way, get my DV77 IR pack, link below, and make me rich and famous. I think I haven't touched anything else. Sounds like this. Nice. Now I've copied the track, exactly the same DI, and here I'm using a Marshall amp from Softtube. This is the Silver Jubilee, and I've cranked the gain and I don't know, just, yeah. But I haven't even touched the microphones or the cabs. So now we got to do the same thing again. We got to send them into a group. The Omega goes to the left, the Marshall goes to the right. And here we got the plugin. And without any alignment, summed together in mono, this sounds like this. Not great, like all the low end is gone. It sounds really fuzzy down there. Let's start the alignment. And let's have a listen. Before after. And now we can find our perfect blend between the Omega and the Marshall amp. What about that? Before and after. Maybe not the greatest combination on earth, but you see what you can do here, right? You see the potential. It is so difficult to blend different guitar amps together on one track, and here it just works, you know, with one click. But you can also do this manually. Let's just lock the mix here, and then you can just, let's say, flip the phase on one side and fiddle around with the distance parameter here. And see where it cancels out the most. Maybe here, let's see how that sounds. Flip the phase again. Also nice, before. It's just amazing how much clean low end you get out of that thing. And if you click subsample here, you can even get like a even more detailed resolution if you want to do some extreme fine-tuning at a higher CPU cost. By the way, this plugin only has a latency of, I think, 0.9 milliseconds. That means you can easily throw it on a live input while recording, or just to find out how certain mics would sound together if they are phase corrected without having to record them. That is also really, really handy and really cool. Okay, I want to move on to the third example, and this will be acoustic guitars, and that really blew my mind. So what we got here is a wonderful acoustic guitar recording that I recently did for the new project of my wife. Have a listen. And we're already listening to the phase aligned version of this. And without it, now buckle up, it sounds like this. And this is fantastic. So let me show you what I did here. So we got two mono microphones, one Telefunken C12, $13,000 mic. It's already routed to the right because, you know, we're going into the plugin. And I got an AEA R88 microphone. It's a stereo mic, but I'm only using one side of it as a mono mic. It sounds like this. And in case you're wondering why the ribbon mic is just as bright as the condenser, because I've EQ'd it quite a bit. Sounds wonderful. Like, ribbon mics are great on acoustic guitars. Those two microphones were not even intended to be used together. They were just two mono mics. But I thought, like, why don't I throw them into the plugin and see how they sound together? So that was the first step. So this is before the correction. Really phasey mid-range. This is after the correction. So much better. And now, this is so cool. You see this? There's a stereo knob. If we click to output now, it will also introduce this one. So this will bring back the original panning of the tracks, and you can go from 0, which is mono, up to even 200. But if you go to 100, you just get a normal stereo signal again. Sounds like this. So now we're using both microphones in a stereo setup, but phase corrected. So if I just turn off the whole entire plugin, you will hear the difference. And that is so cool. Maybe I wouldn't go to 100%. Should be enough to go somewhere around 60. But that is so cool. So not only can you get them in phase, you can also turn them into a nice stereo signal. Just throw two microphones on your acoustic guitar. You can either combine them in mono or even use them as a stereo pair. Really, really cool. So I might even use that in the final mix. I don't know. Sounds really nice. So one more time. You can go from this to this. And without adding any phase shifting, you know, there are some plugins that create some kind of fake stereo that sounds terrible in mono. It's not like that. It's just a natural stereo sound, phase corrected. Really, really cool. What a cool plugin. Don't forget, you can also use this on bass guitars or even on drums. Especially on bass guitars, I very often end up with like 2 or 3 different tracks, like the DI track or the low end track or the dangle track or the distortion track. So it is really, really helpful here. I forgot to say there's another way of using this plugin. You can also use the sidechain input of the plugin, so you don't have to insert it on a stereo group. You can simply switch one of the 2 sides here to sidechain, and then depending on your DAW, you can feed the signal from another track. What a cool plugin, what a cool company. Please check out Forward Audio. They also have some IR packs and other plugins. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys don't know that company. There's a link below. Please check them out. Get that plugin. Right now, until July the 1st, the very best way to get this plugin is to become a member of Kohle Audio Kult. If you join Kohle Audio Kult, the academy, and don't worry, you can get out anytime, you will get all our courses, all our multi-tracks, all our samples, all our IR packs from day one. And there's a lot in there. We got all the basic courses that I did. We got my high gain guitar tone crafting course in there. We just released a drum recording course with Nolly. You can mix different kinds of metal songs, even a Motorhead song with the original multitracks. There's so much in there, and we are a great community. And another reason to join now until July the 1st is this plugin, because you will get a free license of this plugin. Isn't that cool? And by the way, there are 2 more plugins, also the Rotten Pool Verb and the Distortion, La Boga Distortion plugin. There is a lot. It's actually pretty ridiculous. So join the cult and yeah, learn how to record, mix, master all kinds of heavy music. Check out this plugin. Check out Forward Audio. Thanks again for supporting Kohle Audio Kult. You and Forward Audio, thanks to everybody. Makes me really happy. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I see you in hell, motherfuckers. Bye-bye.